Hello beautiful people, this is your girl Eleonora Millicent TV. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made my homemade pizza for my kids. Alright guys, stay tuned and watch to the ending. So guys, the first thing is I got my flour and I got my sieve. So I poured my flour inside the sieve. Use any flour of your choice. This one was using an all-purpose flour, okay? So I had it sieved, just to make sure I don't have any extra particles I don't need inside my pizza, as you can see. So now I got my salt and I have my water. This water is not a cold water, it's not a hot water, it's just a warm water, okay? And here I'm going to be using an active dry yeast for the making of this pizza, and of course my extra oil, the extra virgin oil, you know me, you know that, and sugar. Pizza is very easy to make, guys. It's like super, one of the most easiest thing you can do. So here I had my water. I got a sugar and I poured sugar inside the water, just a little, okay? And then of course I added my yeast, my dry yeast into that. Okay, so I'm going to be stirring at some point and I'm going to let it just sit for some few minutes, okay? A few seconds. So at the end of everything, I got my salt and added it to my dry purpose flour, okay? Then a little bit of a tiny bit of sugar. Guys, this is something I do most times, so I already know the measurement, okay? But if you need that measurement, let me know and I will put one out. Then I added an extra olive virgin oil to it. At this point I just did rush. I was trying to just make a quick pizza in the house for the kids as they requested for. So you can see me turning the yeast. I gave it some time and now I'm going to be adding it to the all-purpose flour that is already sieved and I'm going to mix, okay? So at this point we're trying to form a dough. That is the goal, to get the right dough for the pizza. So this is me mixing it up. So I don't just pour all the water, I just kept adding a little because of course you don't want the water to be more than the flour. So I kept doing that until I was able to get the texture where I actually needed, okay, how I wanted my dough to be. So yes, I just keep knitting like that. Then at some point you can see, just guys, a pizza no hard at all. Like a lot of times, you know how people want to go and buy. If you want to go and buy pizza now, it's almost like by the time you get like 2 medium pizza, you're spending close to 20 something, if not 30 something US dollars. But on a good day, this is something you can just get your proposal. You can make it at home and it is so super easy. All right. So let's continue what we're talking about. As you can see, at this point I was done knitting. I had to cover the baking bowl, and at this point I'm going to be putting this inside the oven. The oven is on warm, so I just wanted to like allow it to rise a little bit, okay? So I did that, and while that was in a warm place, I decided to get like my grounded beef, which is also like, you can use the sausage, you can use like a regular grounded beef. So this is a grounded sausage, right? So that is what I'm using. So use any one of yourself, nothing goes wrong. If you're not someone that likes sausage, go for your beef. Use what you can find, it doesn't matter. And even other than this, you can even make pizza without this. Like you can even just decide to keep the pizza on cheese pizza, or you can even decide to keep it on pepperoni alone, kind of cheese and pepperoni pizza, or unless you want to add it. So these I just made outside, and at this point I cooked well, make sure it is no longer brown. And here I brought my dough and I felt, okay, this dough is enough. I don't want to spend all my days in the kitchen. So I knit a little bit, and I had that at some point split it into two because it was just too big. That thing is almost like that pizza alone is already okay for two large pizza, guys, because that was what I made. I made like two large pizza from just that dough you're looking at there. So, and it was a lot. So at this point, I had to set one of them aside, and of course I continued with one. So I'm just going to be showing you guys a video of just one of it, okay? So here I had to like pat it down. You can see what I was trying to do, trying to make sure, man, all those air bubbles and everything that used to be inside pizza, to get them out. And sometimes I'm going to be using my hand to spread it. and of course using my this to knead it well, because of course I was just trying to get that circular stuff. I do have the pizza stone, so which of course I'm going to be putting this on, so you can see what I'm doing. I just kept going and going and going, guys. I tell you people, it's not hard. It is not hard. So this is it, and the first thing I'm going to be doing on my pizza stone, I'm going to go ahead and spray this. If you don't have that, some people like to use pan. Whatever you have at home would work. It doesn't have to be that. If you have the pan, you can use. Sometimes I use like the pans that you can find that came with the oven, and I just make it, and it comes out good. Sometimes I use like a pot, a non-stick pot, to just make it. It still comes out perfectly okay. Yes, guys. So at this point, I already had this in the stone, and you can see like I have to use my finger to push it, and just to remove any unnecessary air, and of course to allow the at least when I put in my sauce to have it get in, so. But however, at this point I'm trying to do the edge, because if you don't do the edge, your cheese is going to melt out of the pizza, and you don't need that. So you want to create that barrier, that barricade for the pizza. So that's what I'm doing at this point. You can see me trying to like work on the edges, which is the, see that part? Yes. So that is what I was trying to do. And I kept going until I was able to achieve my goals on what I actually needed to do. So guys, at this point, I know you're wondering, why is her mouth moving? That's because at the same time I was communicating with loved ones while I was preparing this thing. So guys, so I kept doing this, trying to make sure I get the edge right. I mean the edge is right, like so that I don't have my cheese melt out of it eventually. So this is what is looking like, guys. Yes, finally. So I have my pizza sauce. I just get the one that was already pre-made in the store, so that at least I don't have to cook them from the scratch. If you're one of those people that can make your sauce from the scratch, go ahead and do it. But I just like it easy to eat. So I went and I got the pizza sauce. Here I spread it on top of the dough. Okay. So when I was done spreading this on top of the, this was looking at, I had my seasoning, okay? That's optional at this point, but this is my seasoning where I have. So I added a little bit of the oregano or something like that, oregano or something. But you can always skip this part, it doesn't matter. But because I have that at home, I decided to add a little bit of it to it. Then a little bit of my seasoning. Let's keep it simple, just seasoning, okay? Because that is how I like to put my, not everyone likes to some. At this point, you don't even have to do all these plenty activities, okay? So it's up to you. But so at this point, you can just move to the next phase if you don't want to add a seasoning. But yes, I decided to just add a little bit of that. Kids don't like pepper too much. So I just get a little pink and I just sprinkle that on the pizza. So here I go. And then here I have my pizza. So now this is the thing. I have the already pizza cheese. You have most times you have the cheese is the combination of mozzarella cheese and parmesan cheese, okay? Was a combination of that on that particular pack. But now, like I said, if you want to just make only cheese pizza, this is the time whereby you just add only the cheese, and that is it. So I was going to do strictly pepperoni, but along the line, you're going to see me, needed to add a little bit of the sausage, the grounded sausage, because one of my kids was like, Mom, can you add that to it? Like, I was going to keep it simple for them because they wanted it simple, but one wanted it simple, the other one wanted that. So I was like, you know what? Oh, yeah. Along the line, they changed their mind and they wanted me to add a little bit of the sausage sauce. So I was like, oh, God. So you're going to see that. But anyway, here you added the cheese. You can see there are two different cheeses. I like the cheddar cheese a lot. So it's optional. You don't have to add that at that point. But I decided to add a little bit of that. Then I sprinkled a little bit of my sauce, salt. So that's all you need at that point. Then oil. Then you spray it. Then another thing you need to do at this point is you just get your pepperoni. Bam! This is the point whereby you want to keep it cheese pepperoni, only and only. And it's going to find. So you can see a little bit of that sausage. That was because along the line, one of the kids were like, "Can you add that? Can you just add that, Mom, please?" So I'm like, okay. So I quickly just sprinkled a little because usually you want to add the sausage after you add the tomatoes. I mean, the tomato paste, the sauce. The sausage was supposed to come next, okay, before the cheese, before the pepperoni. So that is how it should go, not my way, but Yeah, so at this point I laid it out with the pepperoni. Yeah, the pizza is coming. You can see how nice this thing is. It is easy, trust me when I mean it is easy. And like I tell you guys, the money I would have spent if I have to buy the pizza, I wouldn't I'll spend more. But making it at home, and you can see just that little flour I used about I was able to make out like two large, because this is a large pizza. I was able to make out like two large pizza out of trying to make it at home, I mean, guys. So anyway, so this is what my pizza is looking at. Like you see, is super easy. So at this point, and 1 minute up is gonna, my oven is already at cook is already on, and I'm gonna be putting this inside the oven and give it time to cook. So how do you know that your pizza is ready? You notice that your cheese melt, and you also notice that the crust are kind of getting to that. They are no longer raw, so they're like brown, a little bit brownish in color, like golden brown, or how do I put it? But yeah, so this is the outcome. As you can see, the pizza was ready. It didn't take a lot of time, it was
so
good
guys,
to
this
go.
is the outcome.
So you can see my pizza. This is what it is looking like. The house at this point is smelling good. This is called fresh pizza made from the scratch. Yes, guys, give it a shout out to them, and if you need the recipe, bring me up and I will be dropping it for you. Thank you. Bye.